In this video, we will learn about syllables. What is a syllable? A syllable is a combination of a consonant and a vowel. There are two types of syllables. One is open and the other one is closed. So what is an open syllable? An open syllable begins with a consonant and ends with a vowel. That is a consonant-vowel combination. Right? Let's look at an example. Okay, shalom. Okay, so here you have a consonant and a vowel. That is sha, consonant plus vowel. This pattern is said to be open syllable. The next, closed syllable. What is a closed syllable? A closed syllable is a combination of consonant, vowel, consonant. That is, it begins with the consonant and ends with a consonant. For example, in shalom, sh, consonant plus vowel, this is open syllable, whereas lamed, holem vav and mem consist of a consonant, vowel, consonant pattern. So this is called closed syllable. Remember, every syllable in Hebrew begins with a consonant and not with a vowel. Okay, so every word and every syllable begins with a consonant and not a vowel. Now, in Hebrew, by default, the stress or the tonic syllable is the last syllable in a word. The last syllable in a word is considered to be the tonic syllable by default. For any reasons, if this tonic syllable is moved from the last syllable to any other syllable, it will be indicated to us. So, what did we learn? The syllables are divided into two, open and closed. Open has a pattern of consonant vowel pattern. The closed syllable has a pattern of consonant vowel consonant. Right? And by default, the last syllable in a word is considered to be a tonic syllable, or considered to be the accented one, or the stressed syllable. Right? If you at any point, if this stress is moved from the last syllable, it will be indicated to us. Now, knowing the different syllable, that is open and closed syllable, now we will learn how to differentiate between these two vowel pointings, that is gamets and A class vowel, and gamets hatuf and O class vowel. How we are going to identify it, how we are going to differentiate it. Remember, gamets is an A class long vowel. Do you remember? Shalom. Here we look at an A class long vowel. Gamets is a long vowel. However, in contrast, gamets hatuf is a O class short vowel. Alright, like kokma. Right? Kokma. So, how will we differentiate it? So, how will we identify the A class long vowel and the O class short vowel? The general rule is, if it is an closed unaccented syllable, that is, unaccented is the syllable which is not stressed or which is not a tonic syllable. So the general rule is, if it is a closed unaccented syllable, it is a gamets hatuf, that is short vowel. So remember, a closed unaccented syllable will have a O class short vowel. Right? And the opposite of it is true for the A class. Now, let's look into another grammatical aspect, that is called metek. Okay? Metek is nothing but a vertical stroke line to the left of gamets. Now, you look at the example here. Under beth, okay, under beth you have a vertical stroke next to gamets here. Okay? So, when you find a metek, next to gamets, it is always a A class vowel. So metek indicates a class gamets is present, not a gamets hatuf. So whenever you find an open syllable which is unaccented, it will always be an A class vowel. The next important aspect that we are going to learn is known as Dagish. Now, in Hebrew, this Dagish can be divided into two. Number one is Dagish Lene and the other one is Dagish forte. Right? So Dagesh is nothing but a dot in the heart of a consonant. So that is known as Dagesh. So what is a Dagesh Lene? A Dagesh Lene occurs only in the Baget Kafit letters. And what is the purpose of this Dagesh Lene? It hardens the pronunciation. Alright, so if you see a Dagesh in the Baget Kafit letters, the first thought that you should get is whether it is a Dagesh Lene. Alright, and now what is a Dagesh forte? A Dagesh forte is used in letters as doubling dot for letters. In English, we have examples like grammar where we use a consonant consecutively, that is twice. But in Hebrew they don't. Instead of doubling a letter, they add Dagesh inside a consonant, and that indicates that it is a doubling of a letter or a consonant. So this can come in any letter including Baget Kafit letters except in gutturals. So Dagesh Lene hardens the pronunciation and it occurs only in the Baget Kafit letters. However, Dagesh forte is used for doubling. It occurs in any letter, okay, including Baget Kafit letters except the gutturals. Well, how will you identify a Baget Kafit letter? Is it a Dagesh Lene or a Dagesh forte? The way you're going to identify it is if the Baget Kafit letter is preceded by a vowel. Remember, a Baget Kafit letter is preceded by a vowel, then the Dagesh in the Baget Kafit letter is a Dagesh forte or a doubling Dagesh, not a Dagesh Lene. Remember, whenever there is a vowel preceding a Baget Kafit letter, okay, that is said to be Dagesh forte, not a Dagesh Lene. For example, let's look at example here. We have deber. Okay, we have deber. Okay, now there is a vowel before bet. Do you see here? There is a vowel before bet. That is, we have a hireg vowel. That is underneath dalet. So the Dagesh in bet is said to be a Dagesh forte. Okay, and it is not a Dagesh Lene. So what you need to do, you must be careful in transliterating it as dibber. Okay, you see, bet is doubled. And also remember, whenever Baget Kafit letter begins a word or begins a syllable, mostly the Baget Kafit letter, it is a Dagesh Lene, not a Dagesh forte. Alright, the next thing that we're going to learn is Shewa. What is a Shewa? A Shewa is two dots, just like English colon, but this is written below a consonant. Now, what is the purpose of a Shewa? A Shewa is introduced to smoothen the pronunciation, because whenever there are two consonants that are written next to each other without a vowel, to replace a vowel, a Shewa is introduced so that it would smoothen the pronunciation. Now, this Shewa is of two types. This Shewa can be divided into two. That is, number one, it is known as simple Shewa, and the other one is known as composite Shewa. Right? So now, let's look into what are these simple Shewa and what are these composite Shewa. Now, this simple Shewa occurs in all the consonants except gutturals. However, composite Shewa comes only in the guttural letters and not in the other ordinary letters. Now, the simple Shewa can be divided further into two. That is, silent Shewa and vocal Shewa. Remember, silent and vocal Shewa will come only in the ordinary letters. What are the ordinary letters? Any letter other than the gutturals. That is, Aleph, He, Ket and Ayin, including Resh. So except these letters, the silent and the vocal Shewa would come in any other ordinary letter. So what is a silent Shewa? How is it pronounced, or what is the role? A silent Shiva is not pronounced, not transliterated. But it's important for us to recognize the silent Shiva and know it is a silent Shiva which smoothens the pronunciation or the word structure. The next one is called vocal Shiva. What is an vocal Shiva? An vocal Shiva is pronounced like the EE, okay, in Met, and it is transliterated as a superscript E. So you have a very quick E pronunciation for vocal Shiva, and it doesn't carry exact value of a full vowel, but there is a quick sound of an E, and which is also identified by transliterating as an E in a superscript form. Now let's learn how to identify a silent Shiva and how to identify a vocal Shiva. How you're going to identify a silent Shiva and how you're going to identify a vocal Shiva. Now there are a few rules. Let's look at it one by one. Now if the consonant to the right, if the consonant to the right has a short vowel, then the Shiva is said to be silent. Alright, so if the consonant to the right has a vowel, the Shiva is said to be silent because it acts as a closed syllable. Okay, so if the vowel is long, the Shiva is said to be vocal. Let's look at an example. Now you look at the example of la illa. Okay, la illa means night. So now the initial patak, okay, initial patak is a short vowel. So the syllable is divided to the left of the silent Shiva. So here it is consonant vowel, because this is short vowel, then the Shiva under Yod is considered to be silent. Right? So it is la, lai, la. So okay, so this is not pronounced, but this is silent Shiva. Right? So it is la, la. The next rule is if there are two Shivas. There are possibilities of having two Shivas consecutively in a row inside a word. The first is always silent and the second is always vocal. Let's look at an example. Here we have an example of Ishmeru. Right? So here we have two Shivas together. So what are we saying? The first is always silent and the second is always vocal. So here it is consonant, vowel, consonant. Right? Again, because here is a short vowel, definitely this will be a silent Shiva. So consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant and a vowel and a Shiva, consonant, vowel. Right? So Ishmeru. So if there is a Shiva at the end of a word, it is always silent. Remember, now we are talking about two Shivas consecutively, and here we are reading about a Shiva at the end of a word, and it is always silent. Now the gutturals, that is Aleph, He, Ket, Ayin and Resh, cannot take simple Shiva, so they take composite Shiva. So the three short vowels, that is Pata, Segol and Gamets, they are considered to be the composite Shiva. Okay, so they are read as Hatuf Pata, Hatuf Segol and Hatuf Gamets. Alright. So now let's learn two other markers, that is Mapik and the other one is Makef. What is a Mapik? A Mapik is nothing but a dot inside, a Dagesh inside He. So usually He at the end of a word is not pronounced. Okay, its sound is not heard. However, whenever you see a Dagesh inside a He at the end of a word, then it has to be pronounced. Right? So it has to be intentionally pronounced. So that is the use of Mapik. Okay, so a Mapik is a Dagesh inside He at the end of a word. Now Makef, this is a very important grammatical aspect, where a Makef is nothing but a binder. Alright, so if you want to use two words together, like how you use hyphen in English, so in Hebrew if you want to connect two words together, you use Makef. So it is written a horizontal stroke, okay, a small horizontal stroke connecting between two words. So it's usually written at the top of a word. So it is Min Melek. So it means from a king. So this has to be read together, not separately. So Min Melek means from a king. So what are the things that we learned in this video? First, we looked at the syllables. And what did we say? there are two types of syllables. One is open syllable and closed syllable. Right? So how do you identify an open syllable? It is a combination of consonant, vowel. It always ends with a vowel. A closed syllable always ends with a consonant. So it is a consonant, vowel, consonant, and the open syllable is a consonant, vowel. Remember, in Hebrew, by default, the last syllable is said to be the tone syllable or the accented syllable. Alright, so the stress is always on the last syllable in the Hebrew words. If it is shifted to any other syllable, it will be indicated to us. Secondly, what did we learn? Second, we learned about Dagish. What is a Dagish? A Dagish is nothing but a dot in the heart of a letter. This Dagish also can be divided into two. One is Dagish Lene and the other one is Dagish forte. Where does the Dagish Lene come? Dagish Lene comes only in the Bhagat Kafit letters. And what is the purpose of what is the use of Dagish Lene Bhagat Kafit letters? It has a hardened pronunciation. Alright? And it will come only in the Bhagat Kafit letters and in no other letter. What is the purpose of Dagesh forte? Dagesh forte doubles the letter. Okay, it is to indicate that a particular letter, a consonant is doubled. Remember, this can come in any letters, including Bhagat Kafit letters, except gutturals. Okay. Alright, then thirdly, what did we learn? We learned about Shewa. What is a Shewa? A Shewa is a colon written below a consonant, and the purpose of Shewa is to indicate or to help in smooth pronunciation. This Shewa can be divided into two. One is simple Shewa and the other one is composite Shewa. And what did we say about simple Shewa? Simple Shewa comes in all the letters except gutturals, and they can be divided into vocal Shewa and silent Shewa. We learned the rules about when to identify it as a silent, when as vocal. Composite Shewa comes only in the gutturals. So gutturals take composite Shewa and they are written as Hatuf Pata, Hatuf Sego and Hatuf Gamets. Then we learnt about Mapik, which is nothing but a Dagesh in He at the end of a word. So whenever He comes at the end of a word, and when you find Dagesh inside He at the end of a word, it is called Mapik. And what is the use of Dagesh in He at the end of a word? We have to intentionally pronounce this letter in reading of that word. And then we have something known as Makef. What is the use of Makef? Makef is nothing but a binder. Whenever you want to connect two words together, so you use a horizontal stroke between two words to indicate that they have to be read together. Alright, so I hope you remember these aspects and practice it. Thank you for listening.